Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Meet Harrison Smith, also known as Fajiro Promise. Harrison introduced himself to Denise. It wasn't long before he started having to go with the flow, having tied both himself and Denise up in knots. "Where are you from, Denise?" he asked.
"Hello," she said. "I live in Guildford. Where do you live?"
"I live in Texas," he said. "You married?"
"My hubby died 5 years ago," said Denise.
"You have kids?" he asked. "Sorry about that."
"I have 2 children and 4 grandchildren," she replied.
"Wow," he replied. If the person that you're talking to online keeps replying, "Wow," there's about a 99.99% chance that you're talking to a scammer. "Then you're blessed already," he said.
"Oh yes, darling," she said. "I'm a very lucky woman."
"Good to know," he said. Followed by, "Hope you're real."
"What?"
said Denise. "'Cause I'm sick of chatting with fake people, with fake profiles on here," he said. "Well, you know the saying, it takes one to know one."
"I don't know what you mean, darling," said Denise. "My grandson Benji set up my iPad for me."
"Oh, OK," he said. "You got WhatsApp on your iPad?"
"I've never heard of that. What is it?" she asked.
"Oh, OK," he said. "You got a phone number I can call? I just want to know if you're real."
"A phone number?" she said. "Which country are you in? My number's 01483 125 879.
I've left that in because it's completely made up. There aren't any Guildford numbers starting with 125. "Are you from the US?" he asked.
"No, I told you. I live in Guildford," she said. "It's in England, darling."
"Thanks for the number, Denise," he said. "England? You look beautiful, Denise."
"That's very kind of you," she said, "but I think you might need to get your eyes tested."
"Why?" he asked.
"I don't think anyone would call me beautiful. I'm just a rather plain old lady," she said.
"Believe me," he replied, "you look young and beautiful. Can you send a photo, please?"
"If you give me your address, I can post one to you," she said.
We all know that trying to get Denise to send you a photo is a completely pointless exercise. "What address?" he asked.
"Where you live, so I can post you a photo," she said.
"LOL," he said. "I live in Texas, United States of America. You can send it to me here on Facebook."
"I can't do that, darling," she said. "I have one of them digital cameras. My grandson Benji prints out my photos for me. Give me your address and I'll post you one next time I go into town."
"OK," he said. "You have just one on your Facebook. Is your son not there with you?"
"My son lives in Godalming," she said. "He's got a wife and 2 sons. He doesn't live with me."
"Oh, OK," he said. "You live alone?"
"Of course I do, darling," she said. "I told you my hubby died 5 years ago."
"Sorry about that," he said. "How long have you been on Facebook?"
"Benji put me on Facebook when my daughter gave me the iPad," she said. "Why do you want to know?"
"I'm just curious, darling," he said. Of course, the reason he's asking is he's trying to find out whether Denise is real or whether it's a fake profile like his that has just been set up. "There's an app you have to download on your iPad so I can call you on video with it."
"I don't know what you mean, darling," she said. "Can't you call me on Facebook? Benji does."
"I can't call you on Facebook, darling," he said. "Can I teach you how to do that?"
"Why not?" asked Denise. "Benji does."
"OK, darling," he said.
"He's even shown me what to do. I'm sure I could call you."
"Really?" he said. "I don't have Messenger on my phone, so you can't call me. Check your phone, darling. I'm sure you've got WhatsApp on your phone." So Denise tried calling him on Facebook. It did ring, but of course he couldn't answer.
"I haven't got one of them mobile phone things," she said. "My phone's plugged into the wall in my hall, darling. I just tried calling you and it was ringing. Why can't you use Messenger instead of trying to make me do things I don't understand?"
"I don't have Messenger," he said, "but I'm going to get it fixed because of you."
"Why can't you get it instead of trying to make me use WhatsApp or whatever it's called?" she said. "OK."
"Hold," he said. "Let me try to fix it. What's the time over there?"
It's nearly 11 o'clock, she said. It's past my bedtime.
And so Denise went to bed. The next morning, our man with the scintillating conversation started working his way down the scammer spreadsheet. You know, the usual questions that they all ask.
Good morning, darling, he said. You up? Hello, she said. Nice to talk to you again.
How are you? He asked.
I'm very well, thanks, she said. How are you?
I'm fine too. What are you doing?
What do you mean? She asked. What are you doing? Tell me about yourself. I don't know who you are.
Very soon, our man, using his spreadsheet for a conversation, found that he had to start thinking on his feet. My name is Harrison Smith, he said. I live in Texas, United States of America. I have a son, and I work with Gulf of Mexico. And he spelled golf, Golf. What about you?
Oh, said Denise, you're a golfer. I'm retired, darling. I used to be a school dinner lady. Why do you play golf for Mexico if you live in Texas?
I said Gulf of Mexico, he replied, still spelling golf, Golf. Not in Mexico.
Yes, she said, you play golf for Mexico.
Here in America, he replied.
I don't understand, she said. Why'd you play golf for Mexico if you're in America?
Oh no, he said, you don't understand. Gulf of Mexico, still spelt Golf, is here in America.
No, I don't, she said. What, like a golf course called Mexico?
I will explain more better in the morning, my time, he said.
I don't understand, said Denise. Why do you have to explain playing golf?
How old are you? He asked.
Are you a professional golfer? Said Denise. I'm 76, darling.
Okay, he said, but you look young and beautiful.
That's very kind of you, she said. How long have you been playing golf? Are you famous?
I'm not playing golf for a living, he said.
I don't understand, darling, said Denise. Why are you leaving?
Thinking on his feet, our man decided he'd better change tack and sent a photo of a man playing golf.
Is that you? asked Denise.
Yeah, he said.
Why are you leaving? she asked.
Leaving where? he asked.
You said you were leaving,
said Denise, exhausted by the exchange and having to think on his feet. Our man gave up. "'Cause it's late here," he said. "Have to catch some sleep already. I'll text you in the morning, my time." A few hours later, our man awoke from his slumbers and grabbed the scammer handbook. "How's your day going?" he asked.
"Just had a friend visit for tea and a natter," she said. "She left about 10 minutes ago."
"Oh, okay," he said. "Hope you had something to eat."
"No, we just had a cup of tea," said Denise.
"Oh, okay," he said. "Hope you went to church," he said.
"Sorry, darling, no, I don't go to church," said Denise.
"You're not a Christian?" he asked.
"I suppose I'm not. I just go to church for weddings or funerals or christenings."
"Really?" he said. "Just that?"
"Yes, really," she said.
"Oh, okay," he said. "Your belief, I guess."
"Of course, darling," said Denise. "I assume you'll be going to church this morning."
"Yeah," he said. "On my way already."
"Which church do you belong to?" she asked.
"Catholic church," he said.
"Were your family Irish?" she said. "I think a lot of Irish Catholics went to America."
"Yeah," he said. "I'm a Christian."
"You said that already, darling," said Denise. "I read a lovely book about an Irish Catholic lady who went to America. You should read it," said Denise. "It's called First to Go."
"LOL," he said. "What's the name?"
"I don't remember who wrote it," she said. "I can go and get it and see." "Pam Skelton," she said. "Do you know which parts of Ireland your family came from?"
"My family is here in America," he said.
"You said your family came from Ireland," replied Denise.
"I never said that," said our man. "I'm an American, just like my wife."
"Yes, you did," said Denise. I asked were your family Irish, and you said yeah. How old are you? 60, he said. Don't tell me I'm too young for you. I'm worried about your memory, darling, she said. Your age doesn't matter. We're only chatting. You've got a wife. I don't have a wife, he said. I'm divorced. Oh dear, said Denise. I really am getting worried about your memory. You told me you had a wife. Perhaps you should go to the doctor and get one of them test thingies. They can treat memory problems these days, you know. I was telling you about my ex-wife, that she's from America too, he said. Stop saying that. You were the one that misunderstood me. I really don't have to make many jokes on behalf of this fellow, do I? He's quite happy to write his own. I don't think I did, darling, said Denise. You told me your family originally came from Ireland, then said they didn't. You said I'm American, just like my wife. Now you say you're divorced. I was just trying to be helpful and warn you in case you're developing a problem you don't know about. It's much better to get early treatment if you need it. Men are so bad about taking care of their health as they get older. You're confusing me the more, he said. Anyway, let's talk about something else. I think that's a good idea, said Denise. Tell me about your golfing career. Have you ever won a big competition? I guess you probably work as the golf pro at your local club. You still don't get me, darling, he said. Playing golf was not my career. I just play for fun. I know, said Denise. You told me you were leaving. I work with Gulf of Mexico, he said. It's an oil company here in the United States. So why did you tell me you played golf for Mexico, she said. Why would an oil company be named after a game? I said I work with Gulf of Mexico. I know you did, darling, she said. You've told me several times you play golf. You even sent me a photo of you playing golf. I think it's best if we talk about something else. Tell me where your family came from if they didn't come from Ireland. Denise sensed another trap that she could set, and our man walked straight into it. That was golf I was playing, he said. Golf is a game, too. Yes, darling, she said. I know golf is a game, and I know that was a photo of you playing golf. You told me that. You all misunderstood every word I said. Tell me where your family came from instead, she said. I play golf for fun. I told you, my family is here in America. Oh, said Denise. Do you mean you're a Native American? Yeah, said our man. I've never met a Native American, said Denise. Which tribe do you belong to? Confused, our man tried to change the subject. Can you just tell me more about yourself? Why can't you tell me which tribe you belong to? You can have fun counting how many times she asked him. You asked me all these before, he said. You kept repeating them. Now it's your turn. No, I didn't, said Denise. I've only just asked which tribe you belong to. Why can't you tell me? I think that's the third time she's asked him. I have, he said. I told you. I was born and raised here in America. You said you're a Native American, she said. I'd love to know which tribe you belong to. I'm fascinated by the history of Native Americans. I'd love to know more about it. Why are you so afraid to tell me? I've told you everything about me, he said. Now your turn. But you still haven't told me which tribe you belong to, she said. Why do I have to ask you everything so many times before you answer? Do you want me to do the same thing to you and make you ask me everything 3 or 4 times? You don't want to tell me about yourself, said our confused man. Of course I'll tell you about myself, she said, just as soon as you've told me which tribe you belong to. To which he replied, OMG. Denise decided our confused man needed a hint. You know, like when you're playing one of those guessing games. Give me a hint, give me a hint. Which tribe is that? She asked. I haven't heard of them. I was thinking you'd say Cherokee or Navajo or something I've heard of. Guess the OMG are a smaller tribe. What? He said, and then, getting the point, went to Google and came back and said, Eastern Shawnee tribe of Oklahoma. Oh my, how interesting, said Denise. Why did I have to ask you so many times to tell me that? It's okay, he said. Now your turn. What do you want to know? asked Denise. "And how many times do you want me to make you ask each question before you answer it? Shall we make it twice?" "LOL," he said. "You have a man in your life now? I mean, boyfriend?" "Did I say I have a boyfriend?" she replied. "No," he said, all innocently. "That was why I asked." "Oh, okay," said Denise. "I guess that's twice. So no, I don't have a boyfriend. Unless I do, of course. You might have misunderstood me." "LOL. Funny," he said. "I'm beginning to like you." Monday morning dawned, and so did our scammer. "You up already?" he said. "Of course I am," she said. "It's nearly 9 o'clock." "I hope you had your coffee," he said. "Why?" asked Denise. "Your coffee. You don't drink coffee," he said. "What about my coffee? I like tea," she said. "Oh, okay," he said. "You don't like coffee?" "You misunderstood me," she said. "I didn't say I don't like coffee." Well, she had to get her revenge somehow, didn't she? Later that day, our man said, "I hope you're going to invite me over soon." "For tea?" said Denise. "For date. We can have dinner together. Have never been to your country." If the person that you're talking to online starts referring to wherever you live as your country, then there's about a 99.9% chance that you're talking to a scammer. They have so many people on the go, and sometimes they're working as a team, that they simply don't know or don't remember which country you live in. "Are you coming over?" asked Denise. "Only if you invite me," he said. "You're welcome to come to dinner," she said. "Are you allowed to come here?" she asked. "I can come if only you invite me over," he said. "Oh," she said, "is that a new COVID rule?" "No," he said. "I can't just come without knowing anyone over there." "I haven't travelled for years," she said, "so I don't know what the rules are." "There's no rules," he said. "Just put your mask on." "Why can't you come without knowing anyone?" she asked. "I didn't know anyone in Spain when we went with the kids." "That's vacation," he said. "It's cool going on vacation with the family." "Oh," she said, "aren't you thinking of coming for a vacation?" "If you want me to come, yes, I will," he said. "Now you're confusing me again," she said. "You said you can come only if I invite you. Then you said there aren't any rules that say that. So what are you saying? Are you being deliberately obscure again so you can tell me I misunderstood you?" "What are you saying?" he asked. "I'm just trying to work out what you're trying to tell me." "Okay," he replied. "I'm saying if I was to come, then I'm coming to meet you." "Okay," she said, "but that would be a vacation, wouldn't it?" "Yeah," he said, "and I hope you to spend it with me when I come." "You're welcome to come and stay in Guildford, darling," she said. "I could show you round and take you up to London. You could get there easily on the train from Guildford station." And then, a few sentences later, he suddenly announced, "I'm coming over by the end of the month." "How exciting," said Denise. "You don't want that?" he asked. "Too soon?" "What?" said Denise. "What are you talking about?" "Just let me know when you're coming so I can do some shopping," she said. "What do you like to eat?" "What do you have over there?" he asked. "We've got a Sainsbury's and a Tesco," she said. For non-UK viewers, those are two nationwide chains of supermarkets. "I can get whatever you like. I don't think our food is any different from yours, is it?" "Not really," he said. "You have cheeseburger over there?" "We've got McDonald's," she said. "But I meant what do you like to eat at home? I can cook, you know, darling." "Okay, darling," he said. Followed by, well, wait for it, followed by Sainsbury. "Roll on floor laughing," said Denise. "I like chicken and salad too," he said. "Okay," she said. "Don't tell your son about us yet. Let me get there first, so we talk to him together." "You're only coming to visit me," said Denise. "I can have anyone I want to come and stay." And if the person that you're talking to online tells you that they're coming to visit you,
then asks you not to tell anyone, that's a very sure sign that you're talking to a scammer. They don't want you to tell anyone else, so that no one can warn you that you're talking to a scammer.
I'm going to end this video here because our man continued. If you'd like to support my channel, you can head over to buymeacoffee.com/romancescammers. I've left the link in the description box below. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, please share it, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again in episode 2.